In this tutorial, we're going to go over resizing elements, resizing photos, a complete look at how you resize things in Canva. Let's get started. So I'm at my Canva home screen and I'm just going to open up this IG post. So in here, I have this box. And when I click on this box, you will notice you have these little circles around the corners, and you have these little like slats on the edging. This tells you that you can resize it like this. And when you'll notice like you'll get a W where it says W804 and height 441. That is your width and your height. I have requested from Canva that they add an option to where there's a little box where you can actually type in the numbers. It would just make things so much easier. But this is how you can resize things. And you'll notice you'll get that width and that height and get your dimensions. A few other things I wanted to show you. So let's say you're going to bring in some letters. And we'll go to, I believe I have some down in here in my starred. Let's just say we're going to bring in some of these letters. And I want to, let's see what this is called so I can pull some more up. Gradient rounded letter. So we'll get some more up here. And so I have this one here, but let's say I want to spell out something. You don't want to get all your letters and just resize them one by one and try and get the dimensions correct with each letter. So what I do is, let's say I have this letter and I'll bring in an O and we'll bring in an S. And we'll bring in a T. So I have all these letters kind of like stacked. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to move it down here. So I have all of these. So what I want to do is I want to hold my mouse button down and select them all. When you have them all selected, you'll see the corners appear. So then you can resize the letters to how you want. And then you can move them to where you want, and then you can start pulling them out. And you'll notice here to keep them aligned, let me turn the transparency down. Actually, I'll just get rid of this. And we'll detach it and I'll pull it down just so you guys can see. You'll notice here, you see how the lines appear at the top, middle, and bottom. This is to help keep you aligned as you're dragging these letters out. So I'm just going to drag these out. And then what you can do, if you want a letter to be bigger, you can go ahead and resize it. But I'm going to select all of these letters. I'm going to come up over here. I'm going to click on position. And then I'm going to choose tidy up and watch what happens to the letters. It puts them all spaced perfectly apart from each other. So, and let's say, okay, I like this, but I want to resize it again. What you would do is you would hold down and you would select them all, and then you can resize it this way. So you can bring them down, and then all the letters will stay the same shape. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go out here and I'm just going to choose a photo. Let's say we've got this photo here, and I wanted to bring in something to kind of show how you can right click on it. You can set it as image background. You can apply the colors to the page. What I wanted to show you here is you'll notice you have the slats right here. You can make it bigger this way. You can do it this way. But another thing you can do, let's say you don't quite like it going, the big red going across, rotate it to how you like it. And it doesn't matter that it's diagonal, just put it how you like it. Then once you get it in place, you could right click on it and set as image background, and it's going to set it. If you want to make changes after that, go ahead and double click on it. And let's say I want to bring it down a little more. Well, I need to detach it first. Sorry. Let's say, oh, maybe I want it more like this. But also what you can do is you can drag this really far out. Let's say I don't want the red to be so prominent in the image. So you can drag this out and resize it to just keep it like that. And then it's set as the image background, but I don't have that prominent red streak going through it. Then what you can do is you can bring this over here and you can move it. You can resize it. Now what you can do is, these letters happen to be gradient letters, and you can change the colors of them. So let's say I want to go through and change the colors to something like that. You'll notice down here, I'm going to undo this because I want to show you an important piece. So if I come here and I make this change, and let's say I want it to be black. Okay, down here, you have the option to change all to black. So if you change all, it's going to change them all. So for the middle one, let's say I want to do this color, and then I hit change all. And for this last one, let's see how a black looks. We'll do another black and we'll change all. So that way you get consistent color on this wording. You can resize it and you can do whatever you want with it. Same thing with these boxes. There's another point I wanted to bring up. When you come over here to elements, and I'm going to search, you want to use a frame or a grid. Anytime you want to use a square, just a simple square, always use the grid. And I'm going to show you why. Let me get back here. Let me close. So we have grids right here. I have this grid I'm going to bring in. I want to shrink it down just to get it in here. But then I want to come here and search for a frame. And you may say to yourself, but there's a square frame already in here. And let's find the simple square. Right here it is. Okay. The differences that I wanted to show you. With a simple square frame, you will notice you only have these corners that you can resize. So you can either do this or this. That's it. That's all you can do with that frame. Now, if you use the square grid, you will notice that you have these sections where you can make it just the perfect size, maybe make it a little bit more of a long rectangle than a square, where with this one, you can only do a square. So anytime I need a square type, I'm always going to choose this grid, because then I can resize it to what I need. So we'll grab a photo, just a simple photo, and we'll drag it in. Then you can double click on it. You can make it bigger. But let's say, oh, I just want to make it really thin. You can do that, where if you bring it in here, you can only make it bigger or smaller based on a square. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you would like to see more tutorials, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notified, and we'll see you in the next video.